Hello, YouTube and Facebook friends. It's time for another talk about situations and life around us all. My sympathies for other people like me grow deeper. My worries for other people like me grow deeper. The headlines today from Smart News read America, the norm, growing more dangerous. That's chilling. Once living in a free country with diversity and democracy, and now living in a country under the rule of Nazi thugs who are not only hurting people like me, but they're killing each other, apparently. And then seeing Charlie Kirk, wife, on the news talking about how she is going threatening, in a threatening sense, carry on his hate and agenda. When will people learn? Hate is destroying our country. Hate is destroying everything and everyone. And again, I say to these people, God is love. God is not hate. God doesn't hate anyone. And the proof I have of that is the spell that I cast when the Orange Man won the election and asked God to confront the Orange Man about his hate towards uh, diversity and transgender people. And sure enough, on Inauguration Day, a woman of God, Bishop Marion, confronted him about it in a very kind way. I mean, that shocked me, how strongly God heard me. It shouldn't have, because I've been walking with God all my life. I walk with God in my magical practices. And again, I believe in the goddess. I have a different view than other people have. I do not believe in violence. I do not believe in doing any kind of harm. If I curse somebody, it is going to be to teach them a lesson and make them change, and it's going to go away when they change. And it's going to be very few and far between that I do anything such as this, because I believe in the greater good. You cannot combat evil with evil, hate with hate. But when will these people learn? And as I've said, I was on X, and that Nancy Mace said to me, "You're a man in a dress, stop it." And first I ignored it, but then I broke down and I just said, "Same to you." Because I have that Maud side of me. Well, nobody's perfect. And these days, it's probably best for Maud to keep her mouth shut, but... So, my concern grows. My concern grows about hate in this country and what it's doing. And my concern grows about, will there ever be democracy again? And my fears and the nightmares I've had about being put in a concentration camp and killed over and over again, because other predictions, other things I've foreseen are now happening. Other things I have talked about are now happening, and now I don't talk about it before it happens. There's some kids playing outside and screaming and running, and but it's just really sad to me. It's very sad. And I even wonder, is it even safe for me to be on video at all? But then again, I will die with dignity, because I will not back down and I will not be quiet. I have the power of words. And I just feel like it's what God would want me to do is to have a say. And so I'm having a say about things. And then the other thing is, I wonder, am I ever going to be loved? I need a big man to love me with the power to rescue me. I need someone in my life. I don't want to be alone, and I don't want to leave this world as the unloved, because I recognize that it is horrible what happened to me. I recognize that they didn't have the right to choose my identity as a child, to call it an hernia operation, to make me be what they projected was best. And now that I've finally gotten that chance to be who I am, now it's getting taken away from me again by the same group of people who did this to me when I was young. And even though I feel that the election was finagled, I still don't think well of people that in my family that voted for this hate and this racist, and the people in Congress who talk about transgender people in a negative way and LGBTQ people in a negative way and call us all these asinine things, when right among themselves are the ones who went to Jeffrey Epstein's island, and those poor girls who don't get to see justice, and how even some of the evil churches, not the good ones, have protected pedophiles and shunned transgender and LGBTQ people. And again, I say to everyone that you can find evil in every facet of life, every color, every nationality, every gender. There's going to be good and bad. That's just the way the world goes round. But there are many, many good people in by the same token. It's why you can't say every Republican is evil, because there's a good one somewhere that can be voted in. You can't say every Democrat is good, because there's a bad one somewhere that is allowing all this to happen to us right now. And so, how do we get through all of this is my other thing. How do we get through it? I have no idea. How do I get through it? That's another thing. How do I get through this? Just one stiletto in front of the other every day. And now I'm facing the winter, and I am facing the cold, and I'm facing being stuck in this house that needs repairs, with a mother who refuses to let me have anybody do the repairs, and it continues to alienate people from us. Every time I talk to somebody to fix my camper, she chases them off. Every time I talk to somebody to help get stuff out of the house, paint the walls, she chases them off. And she thinks she can do it herself. No, she can't do it herself. And then she wants to take all the burden for the way it is, but I tell her it's not your fault. Or she'll want to argue with me, and I just keep my mouth shut and go on with myself. Temperance. Even though I am the one who has the say, it is the power of attorney and everything, I still let my mother just live her adult life, because I don't want to force anything on someone I love, and it's hard for me. And I do also feel, because of the way my mother treats me, nobody respects me, nobody abused me as an adult, and this is why nobody in my family respects me or treats me good. That, and the fact that I'm transgender, they do not accept me. And now I'll probably be killed by this regime, because I don't see how it's ever going to go away, personally. I am disappointed, but I wish that I was loved. I wish I had a man and love in my life. That is what matters to me more than money or anything. But unfortunately, in this life, you gotta have money to survive, and I don't look for my retirement to be here with this evil regime in power. Already cuts are coming, and the money I have already does not cover everything. So I say again today, every day I must go on, every day I must be strong, every day I must be, for there's no one else in this life, on this earth, in this world, in this universe like me. And again I say, I live in poverty, but I live in abundance. I live in abuse, the abuse of hate and racism and the abuse of not being loved by people who are my own blood. I live in abundance. I live without love, but I am love. Love is me. I don't have to chase love, and I will love me. And I live in abundance. And I will continue to cast my magic to bring a greater good forth, to bring love to replace hate. Every day I do that, and I feed the birds outside. I pray for someone to love me, and I pray for there to be more love in the world and in the United States of America. And I pray for protection of the meekest among us who are getting hurt the most by the most powerful among us. And I just want to say to Elon Musk, think about your daughter, Xavier. How are you going to feel when something happens to Xavier like happened to me? I was beaten. I was left for dead. I threw up 3 sinks of blood in the hospital. I have a titanium rod in my nose. And by contributing to hate at all, you're putting your daughter in danger of these Nazi thugs. And my life is in danger of these Nazi thugs. Now, I believe you, Elon Musk, deep down have a heart, and you don't feel this way. And you can ask Grok, because I have. The people that hate transgender people are minuscule. It is a small group of so-called evangelistic Christians. It is a small groups of people who harbor hate. KKK, QAnon, those kind of things. That is who is doing this evil to this country. That is who is destroying this country. That is who has destroyed democracy. America has fallen, and it has fallen hard. And I think it's going to take lifetimes to do repairs, because we are disgraced to the world right now and not trusted. And none of this is going to work out for the poor. None of this is going to work out for working poor. None of this is going to work out for disabled or veterans or anyone. And also, no matter what you do to people like me who are transgendered, like me, I was born with both genders. There's one of me born every time there is a baby born. And you say you want women to have children, but when they have children like me, you don't love them. And you do this to my life. But yet you want to force me to be born into this, like the Jim Morrison song says, like a dog without a bone. Into this life we're born, into this life we're thrown, like an actor on a loan. But you want to force women to have children, and then when they're like me, not a criminal, not a pervert, just someone who is a woman and has always been a woman who just wants to be loved, and you do this to me and everyone like me. And you want to force me into this life, and then you want to take away every advantage I can have to be successful. Shame on you.